But what drew the most attention this weekend was Shohei Ohtani throwing, wait for it, live BP. It's so exciting when you're coming back from a second Tommy John and you finally get to face a hitter. Now, don't tell the Marlins or about 25 other teams who had their pitchers throwing live BP day one of spring training. Let's not talk about that. Let's pretend it's the old days where live BP is a major milestone in either getting ready for a season or recovering from an injury. Remember, Tommy John surgery, the way it works is first you start with your elbow in a brace and you're not doing anything. You do a little strengthening exercises, a little PT, a little rehab. But when it comes to holding a baseball and throwing, you start on flat ground. You start having a short catch like you would with your dad when you were 9, like 30 feet. And then you extend to 60 feet after resting a few days, seeing how the scar tissue is acting, seeing how it feels the next day, then 90 feet. Then you get to go to 120 feet. And then you get to step onto a bump, but don't you spin the ball. Then you get to spin the ball and you get to feel how you feel and see how you recover. And everyone's watching, the front office, the trainers, the team doctor checks it out. There's reports going back and forth. There's meetings about recoveries and how the pitcher is doing recovering from Tommy John. Every time an added pitch from his arsenal is back being thrown during a rehab moment, it is noted to the front office. So it's a picture it like the yellow brick road. And Oz is your first game back. One of those bricks is throwing live BP. So I agree it's not a small deal, but I also agree it is not even close to where you need to be to get back to a major league mound. So Ohtani throws live BP, and the stories were everywhere. He was on a big league mound for the first time in 614 days. They were setting the scene, all the writers were. Not a big crowd. A bunch of Dodgers players there, some in the box facing him, some behind the cage. Executives, everyone trying to see, feel, and hear and understand how the rehab was going. You've got your manager who stands next to your pitching coach. You've got your GM who can sometimes stand next to the manager and pitching coach, but often stands at a different part of the ballpark, a little off to the side, so as not to be distracting, meddling, or appear to be too involved. But believe me, we're watching. We're looking for comfort. We're looking for mechanics. We're looking for ease of the ball coming out of the hand. But what we're really paying attention to is something that doesn't happen the day of live BP. What we're paying attention to is the next day when we wake up and we expect a text or a call from the trainer to see how the player is feeling, because we get the full report. Tell me about your legs, your hamstring, your knees, your shoulder, your elbow, your toes, your head, your eyebrows. I don't care. I need a full status report. The thing about Ohtani starting to pitch again is what was supposed to be a luxury for the Dodgers is now becoming a necessity, because all of the depth that they have in pitching, it's sitting on the injured list. All of the thought that they would steamroll through the regular season, run away with the National League West, it's gone. Not only are they not running away to the best record ever, where it was a fait accompli, they'd win 116 games and match the Mariners of the 90s. Forget that. I'm not even sure they win 100 games. Sitting right now at 12 games over 500, but with only a 2-game lead over the Padres and the Giants. There are 3 teams within 2 games, and I'm ignoring the Diamondbacks. While the stats tell you that the division leaders Memorial Day will be the division leaders when the season's over, you can bet your sweet bippy that the Dodgers are looking behind them, and there's a big sign that says objects in mirror are closer than they appear. the Padres and Giants look to have an opportunity to do something that would be reminiscent of when the Giants won over 100 games and won the division when the Dodgers won the same number of games a couple years ago. Totally unexpected and totally great for baseball. But for the Dodgers to not just maintain, but potentially grow their position and really get to the point where they can defend their World Series title, which they want to get to in October, obviously, they need Ohtani pitching. Coke, I was asked the other day, why is it that the Dodgers would want Ohtani pitching? And Mark Pryor said it perfectly. He said, the stuff is there. He said, I don't think anybody in that room would ever doubt what Ohtani can do, but he's still got a long way to go, and we'll see where he comes out at the end of the year. Why? If you're the pitching coach, are you selected by the Dodgers to give that statement? Give that interview. It's because you don't want any pressure on Ohtani, and you don't want any pressure on the front office to bring him back early, to pitch him if he's not ready. They already have a situation where they don't want to send him out on rehab, which is unheard of coming back from Tommy John. Unheard of to not pitch in rehab games when you're coming back in the middle of the season. But the Dodgers don't want to lose him in their lineup. You can't go to the minor leagues and pitch and play in the big leagues that day because the rules are when you're on rehab, it's literally a state of being for a player. You are assigned. It's called a rehab assignment. Literally, your name in the computer is not on the active roster. You have been assigned to rehab, and when you're done with rehab, you are removed from rehab assignment. Your rehab assignment is ended, and then you have to be put back on a roster. There are players who end a rehab assignment and aren't ready, and the rehab assignment is done because there's a limit to its length, and they get put right back on the injured list. But the Dodgers have been clear that we're not giving up the bat. The issue I have is if you do not ramp him up properly, he's not going to be effective, and the odds are after 2 Tommy Johns, he's not going to be effective anyway. And furthermore, when you're coming back from Tommy John, you are going to have ups and downs. A pitcher is not truly recovered from Tommy John until the season after he comes back. And then you're still worried every pitch is a snap. Every pitch is a pop. You're worried about a crackle in a different part of the body. But in terms of consistency and effectiveness, it takes time even once you're back, and that's after a full rehab assignment. And what the Dodgers will say is, we've taken our time. We're going to be good. It's not really how it works, though. When you extend the length of the rehab, it does not in any way mitigate the need for either an assignment, or it doesn't take away the inconsistency that comes when you're back from Tommy John. These are just facts. I think you will see Ohtani on the mound at some point this year. I do not think it will be before the All-Star break. I don't think that makes sense for the Dodgers to do. If they want him around in October, they need to have him make as few appearances as possible. Pitching would be my advice. There is no great pressure from a revenue standpoint, from an expense standpoint. He is being paid what he's being paid. Ohtani does want to pitch. He asked to pitch. He was promised to be able to pitch by the Dodgers when he signed. But it will be quite a bit later than you would have thought.